has a PB. In fact, she got that in a race of 109.49, unless it's been updated since then. Sephi is 2-0 with wins versus Inno Rush and Saran Gas. Meg is 0-2 with losses to Saran Gas and to J-Ro. But just give you a little bit more background on Meg, since she's relatively new to Super Metroid. She actually has a slew of different old NES and Super NES games that she's also runs. It sounds like she's pretty good at Legend of Zelda, the original Zelda 1 randomizers. She also lists Zelda 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan, Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge, among her other games that she runs. So. And here we go with Sarah Station and the Ridley fight, or the Ridley let's get hurt as quickly as we can. See what kind of times we get coming out of Sarah Station. 46.01, really good for Sephi. Meg with a 41.64, not bad.
So the memes begin.
Okay, I'm seeing a couple of different times for Meg in chat. So we got 105.02 or 108.50. So she's improving, which is awesome. It's one of the cool things about this tournament. I heard them talking about this in one of the other races, is that we are getting a lot of newer runners doing this. And we're seeing a lot of race PBs, and we'll see. Maybe Meg can get another race PB here, so.
It's amazing what happens when everyone is practicing the same thing. They get better at it.
Yep. And Sephi with a beautiful moonfall. We'll see if Meg uses that. Nope, just using the normal fall speed. Okay, and we get the usual morph ball, pick up your missiles. And Sephi will head on back up. I know Sephi's one of those runners that likes to do the ledge grab climb. So we'll see that in just a second. We'll see what Meg does.
Yeah, Sephi was putting some work on this before the match started. He's not real happy with how his climb has been going, which I think is everyone is never happy with how their climb is going.
Well, that looked pretty good to me. Hopefully that looks like that practice paid off. I've often called that one of my least favorite rooms.
I think you really could call that the worst room in the game.
Yeah. It's like, what? Meg taking it a little bit slower, that's fine. Gotta be a little bit careful here, or else those French fries for those space fires can do quite a bit of damage. Seffi making his way up through Alcatraz, and he'll head on down. Well, to answer the question in chat about a close race, assuming Seffi doesn't die, then we're probably not looking at a close race. But I always say, this is Super Metroid. Anything can and will happen. So if Seffi isn't careful, then we could end up with a race on our hands.
Yeah, and it's always, even when we've seen races that have been mismatches, you still get to see some interesting things. You get to see new runners, kind of some of the differences in each one of the routes and techniques that they use. And I personally like watching some of the people who are learning, because you'll get to see things that you don't see from other runners, and you're like, that's actually really creative, and I should steal that.
Yeah, it's easy to forget how difficult this game is when you watch the top players. Just emphasizes when we see some of the newer runners just how difficult this game really is. Here we go. And I also would point out that this is an important match for Seffi. The only person he hasn't played yet is J-Ro. J-Ro's 3-0, so it would really help for Seffi to get that 3-0 mark. I would guarantee him into the next round. Whereas if anything happened and he didn't get this one, then he might have to rely on tiebreakers, depending on what happens in other matches. Never a situation you want to put yourself in. First try on the mock ball. He has a little bit of trouble with that. The experienced runners make that look so easy, but let me tell you, it is not. It took me a long time to pick that up, and I'm not sure I would always get it first try either. Seffi, in the meantime, getting close to Kraid's lair. Beautiful entry.
I apologize for my extended silences. There's some bedtime action going on here, and it should be over now, so...
Not a problem. Meantime, Meg gets her mock ball. Excellent.
Hate that mock ball.
Yeah. Picks up her early supers. Yeah, it's the one you actually need to get. There are several other places you can mock ball, but that's the one that's actually important, because it saves you from going to Spore Spawn, and it would take a lot more tries than what she had to go through to make it worth going to Spore Spawn instead of doing the mock ball.
I've spent enough time at that mock ball before, probably, where it would have been just better to go to Spore Spawn.
Yeah. And a nice quick kill from Seffi. Yeah, it was actually Seffi that taught me how to do that. He gave the advice of jumping in there and just letting go of everything except the down button, and then just going down to the side when you land.
Yeah, that's when I realized the one controller I was using was probably just too worn out and soft because I would roll in and it'd catch an extra input and I would mess something up.
And Sephi picking up the safety tank in Kraid. In fact, he was talking before the match about having to remembering to pick that up. I don't think he picks that up in his normal runs, just in tournament situations. It's an extra safety. The time it takes, maybe 10 to 15 seconds to pick it up. A couple door transitions, item fanfare, and a little bit, depending how quickly you can go through that room. Okay, looks like we lost the feed from Sephi. Actually, hang on. Oh, here we go.
And we can just make up what Sephi's doing, and it might be right.
In the meantime, let's switch the audio to Meg. So. Yep, and of course, whenever somebody's goes off, we have to get the comment of splicing. He certainly uses enough different names, so maybe that'll be a new one.
Well, it doesn't help that he's the first one to make the splicing joke, so...
So true. Oh, there he is, all the way. Somehow managed to skip right into Bubble Mountain. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did stop by the pedestal, though.
Yeah, I believe he was part of that that combination tournament, so maybe he's looking at those Link to the Past items to see if he can find some of the stuff.
Definitely got to find out the crystal dungeons. Meg just missing those missiles, so that's a really good attempt there. That's not an easy trick.
Not at all. It's actually something I have not done yet, so I certainly understand the position she's in. On the other hand, if you're a newer runner, you're probably much more used to having to fight Kraid like this. Sometimes we see more experienced runners when they don't get that quick kill. That Kraid fight can go really wrong because they're just not used to it. Yeah, sure, Poppy. Yeah, Sephi picking up Spazer. I'll believe that when I see it, and when it's not a hundo race.
That's why he likes 100% map, because then he doesn't have to pick up Spazer. He just has to go in the room.
That's right. Meantime, picking up that wave beam, which I still think is the biggest sequence break, if you can call it that. Having to go all the way around the entire map just to pick up everything you need for the intended route into wave beam. Just takes a really long time. So I had one little wall jump, which is actually not that easy a wall jump to get. And you can get that wave beam early. Yeah, in fact, shout-outs to Poppy and Freya's for putting in that donation to force Sephi to use the Spazer Beam in Power Up with Pride. That was pretty fun. And now Sephi's gonna head up to the wreck ship.
I think one of the biggest differences you'll see, other than boss fight mechanics between someone like Meg and like Sephi, and by no means is this putting anyone down, is stop, words are hard. I mean, obviously it's movement, but I think one of the biggest time saves that new runners can really focus on, and this is kind of unsolicited, advice, is to work on ledge grabs, because that'll end up saving you so much more time than some of the things like the alpha sparks that Sephi just hit.
Yeah, that's. I have to agree with you. It's the little things that can make a big difference in an overall run. The really cool looking swag strats sometimes don't even really save time; they just look cool.
Like the red tower climb that Sephi did there, that's unbelievably tight window, and it's sickening that how easily he gets that.
Yeah. And what a lot of the newer runners do is they'll also pick up that ice beam so they can have an easier time up red tower. We'll see if Meg chooses to do that.
This room that Meg is kind of going through, and it's just, for a new runner, I feel like there's just no real good smooth way to move through that room, the double chamber cathedral, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Then the rising tide right afterwards is always a tough one. Even if you get that mock ball, you're always going to be taking hits there. There's just no good way to do that one.
Yeah, that whole, once you enter the first heated room through Bubble Mountain into Wave, I feel like is, I mean, I'm probably wrong and just over speaking here, but I think it might be one of the more, it's got to be like the most difficult section of maybe 5 rooms there are.
Interesting Meg going for a wave beam before she goes and gets her speed booster.
I think she just fell. She said, I'm here. I might as well go.
Yep. Shouldn't be too much of a time difference, I would guess.
I think the only time difference you may see is if I don't know how easy it is to get the jump out on your way back out without speed. I don't know if speed helps that or not.
It's a good question. I don't know. But she gets her wave beam with no problem. Sephi, meanwhile, is about to fight Fantoon. Looks like he's setting up for those X Factors. Oh, and he nails him. Very important to get those, to actually have those X Factors hit, especially in the Fantoon fight. It's very common for, if you miss those X Factors, they're going to fly all the way around the screen. You won't be able to shoot anything, which is kind of a pain. And looks like he's got him.
Egg remembering to go get the super from King Cack, the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah. Egg doing some farming. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of runners will do that after they pick up speed booster. Doing it before shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it might be a little bit faster, but overall I don't think it's much of a difference. It's all about the comfort. Now, Sephi's heading up to the attic here. You'll see a little different, a not as common attic strat out of Sephi. He's going to use speed echoes throughout the entire attic to take out the stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, that's
which he does.
Yeah, that speed cube is beautiful. The nice thing about doing it that way instead of actually doing the shine spark is you don't have to use any energy up to actually do the shine spark. As the speed echoes, when you keep it that way, it doesn't cost you energy, so you didn't actually fire up the spark. leaving him with more than enough energy to get through the spiky room here and get into bowling. See if he goes for the. Looks like he's going for the shine spark into it, and gets it. Has a really tight short charge there, and now he can take a little bit of a break as bowling chorizo takes him down to his gravity suit.
Yeah, Seffi's going to check social media that is not PG-13, so we won't mention it by name.
We'll say PG, well, not PG-13 or lower.
Yeah, it's not appropriate for speed gaming.
No. It's his gravity suit, and he'll move on to Meridia.
No, this is the type of race where I really wouldn't have minded seeing Steffi accidentally running through the gravity sprite and out the door.
We've seen that a couple of times recently. Once in a race, saw that in a race on Friday.
Because I don't really want that to happen to where it's really going to like that be like the difference in the race.
Yeah.
But I also like to see absolute ridiculousness. So.
And Meg choosing not to get the ice beam early. I like that she supered the first of the rippers there. And she gets
there we go.
Nicely done.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, you can kill those rippers with either supers or power bombs. Typically, in a vanilla setting, you're not going to have power bombs when you go through that room the first time, so but the supers will destroy them as well.
I've gotten mad enough in that room just to start supering them all. So
I've done that before too. And Seffi blowing up the tube and heading into Meridia.
Seffi with very nice ammo here going up the water area.
Interesting, Meg going getting those extra power bombs. Kind of surprised at this. The one place they might really come in handy is right around the power bombs of shame in Lower Norfair. And as much as we joke about the power bombs of shame, it's probably a quicker pickup than this was. But I guess now she doesn't have to worry about that. She'll have plenty of power bombs throughout the run. So
yeah, definitely not having to worry about it will be nice. Also, not having to worry about it with low health or more dangerous enemies around can be nice.
Seffi with a very nice one round bot wound. Oh boy. Okay, Seffi left a little bit too quickly, so bot wound respawned there. That is a thing that can happen. Doesn't really affect you in this run because you don't actually have to go back through that room. And even in a situation where you do go back through that room, it's very easy to avoid that room. You can go down the sand pit here and make your way back. Interesting that he went and checked to see if that's what happened.
That leads me to believe he may have done it on purpose.
I wouldn't put it past him. And a very nice full half B. Yeah. And Meg showing just how difficult this spark really is.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Almost had it.
Hitboxes,
There it is. Nicely done, Meg. Runs right into the missiles, nothing wrong with that. It's only a 7-second time loss for the fanfare. And the extra safety from those is going to be good for her.
Okay, nice opening spark by that guy that has 18 different names.
And you'll notice Meg turned off her high jump boots in order to do this room. This is a nice way to get through this room. My guess is that she probably chose to do it this way. It's not that this room is not a bad short charge to get the Shine Spark, but the benefit of jumping across instead of using the Shine Spark is she'll go into her Phantoon fight with a lot more energy. She won't use it up to do the Shine Spark. Even getting hit by that fish, she still has more energy than she would have if she sparked across.
Sephi continues to get all the meme tricks as he hits the diagonal spark to kill Dragon, and then gets the spike suit right off of it.
Sephi will go pick up his plasma beam now.
And if he doesn't get the plasma spark, I say we make him forfeit.
There you go. You better at least try to get it. And Meg's farming a little bit extra to have more energy for Phantoon. Even with 3 tanks in Varia, this is not an easy fight. Phantoon is a notorious run killer, both for the difficulty of his patterns and in some cases the slowness of his patterns. If you get a slow, the difference being, I want to say about 14 seconds between a slow and a fast.
"14 seconds sounds good to me."
If I'm wrong, someone can, yeah, feel free to correct me in chat if somebody knows what the actual time difference is.
Oh no, you have the microphone, therefore you are correct.
Oh, there you go.
We'll assert dominance here.
And to the question in chat about Sephi going and get the spring ball, one of the reasons for him not to do that is even if it's fast enough to still win this race, the next round these runners are going to be seeded by average time. They're going to take out the longest time, and they're going to take out the shortest time, take those 2 middle times and average them, and then they're going to seed them strictly by that. So it's in his best interest to still try and get as good a time as he can. And in fact, I believe the organizers chose that specifically to discourage some of those types of things.
It's like they know some of these people.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But it is sad we have not gotten to see any reverse slinkies or blue bombers in this tournament.
Apparently Taz can blue bomber without spring ball, but
yeah, I've heard it was possible, but I've certainly not seen it done.
I believe you've seen Sephi in the flesh, so we do know he's not a Taz.
No, he's not a Taz. I have met Sephi. And in all fairness, we joke a lot about Sephi and his memes and stuff, but you know, in reality, he is one of the nicest people I know. If not for him, I probably wouldn't even be streaming at the moment. So he was a big influence in actually getting me to do more than just hang out in Twitch chat. So.
But he will also, and as nice as he is, and you know, encouraging, he will also take as much time out of his day as possible to help you learn something and walk you through it and teach you and then sit in your chat and watch you do it and help you figure out how to.
Well said.
I will say that's pretty much most of the community that will help you quite a bit, as long as they're not, in the middle of serious runs. If you see someone doing practice and you ask them, a lot of them will fire up the ROM or move over and help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. The Super Metroid community is really good about that. I've never had someone turn down a question I've had about a strategy or a move that they can do.
I believe Sloters means he showers and Spazer special beam attacks, not bathes.
That would make more sense since we call that the golden shower. Stuffy hitting fast pillars.
First try, too.
Yeah, going into worst room of the game. Having no trouble with it. Oh,
he does have a little bit of a different setup, though.
Yeah, he did get hit by that space pirate in the end.
Space pirates always get theirs.
So Meg's gonna have to be a little bit concerned about her energy here. Assuming that she's gonna jump across the spikes. Those do 30 damage each. And with high jump boots, you're gonna, I don't know if she ever turned those back on. You can actually get, it's a lot easier to hit them only twice without high jump boots. So maybe she's gonna do that. Otherwise she could, yeah, so this farm here I think is really smart. That way, even if she does get hit 3 times, she'll have more than enough energy to get through that room without any trouble.
Very smart.
Here's an area I've seen Stephanie practice a lot, getting those charge beam shots into those space pirates, ninja pirates or metal pirates or whatever you choose to call them. And it looks like Meg did have her high jump boots back on. Ends up getting hit 3 times with that farm maid, so she still has plenty of energy. And Sephi in his Ridley fight will take 20 shots with the Charge Ice Wave Plasma combination. Getting a bunch of nice pogos. Back into those pogos. It's such a nice spot to get Ridley with that 1 foot off the ledge. You know he won't pick you up and you won't hurt you. And Ridley is down. And chooses not to pick up the extra energy tank at Ridley. This doesn't surprise me. His ammo looks good, power bombs look good, energy looks good. I expect he's just going to head right on past the ship and straight into Turian. Getting the clip there. Nice speedball. just tanking his way right through some of those key hunters. And then doing it a more standard way by clipping through them by using the plasma beam. Plasma beam making it a little easier to clip through those enemies when you shoot them. You gotta be a little careful with his health though. 113 is not exactly what you really want going into the Three Musketeers room. Oh, and he's gonna try to go right through them up here. And he makes it, oh my. Thought maybe he would play it safe and charge shot them from below, but nope. I should have known. This is Sephi. And he out of Lower Norfair. Very smartly using bombs on those pillars because he needs that power bomb to get down to the Frog Speedway. Otherwise, either has to run back through Cathedral or take the Morphball maze to get down there. To answer the question about PB pace for Sephi, I don't think his PB is a 44-47. So yeah, I would say he's quite a bit behind that PB pace. But still, it's going to be a very nice run. I would guess, yeah, about plus a minute from floaters in chat. I would guess that's probably about right. That sounds about right. I'm still going to guess he's not going to stop at the ship to refill, though, even with that energy count being a bit low. Just, you know, the Metroid drop, so... Will give him plenty of energy to get through Turian. It's a little bit in that farm there. And Sephi running right past the ship, saying 97 energy, no problem. Meanwhile, Meg into her bot-food fight. Missiles or she uses her charging here. And she's out of supers. The nice thing about Botwoon is once he gets into that fast mode, he stops shooting at you, and if you stand in that corner, he's not going to hit you. Oh, and thank you, Speedy. I actually missed that Meg grabbed those Aqueduct supers. An extra safety here. Going with 15 supers instead of the normal 10, I think that's really smart for Meg. That'll just give her that extra safety for both the Mother Brain fight and gives her the option to use some supers on the Ridley fight as well, if that's something that's easier for her. Doing a little extra farming. Sephi's about to enter Turian. Sephi going into his first Metroid room. And looks like he's using some grouping strats. Using some missiles in the second room to make sure he keeps that super count up. Ammo looking good so far. And Meg very nicely getting over that last column in Colosseum. The worst one. That little thing that sticks out. Very problematic. And Meg taking a save before Dragon. We've seen a lot of bad Dragons in this tournament. A lot of much more experienced runners having trouble with Dragon, even dying to Dragon. So I think this is smart for her. Seppi going for the baby skip. And he gets it. And Seppi skipping right past that last safety save point. No surprise. No problem with this Zeb skip.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had an emergency here.
I hope everything's okay at your end then.
Oh, by emergency, it's someone didn't want to go to bed. Emergency.
Yeah. This is why I have cats. They have their own issues. As one of them decided to make herself known in the previous race.
Yeah, the famous the mini. It's her first day of school tomorrow, so trying to readjust to the scheduling.
Yeah, I gotta do that myself as I start teaching less than a week. I'll make finishing of Dragon and Seppi getting through Mother Grade 1 or N2.
Pretty nice womple jumping out of there by Meg.
She'll go ahead and pick up her plasma beam.
So this is the part of the run for Meg where you learn that space jump seems a lot cooler than it actually is once you get out of the water.
Space jump is one of my favorite items. Actually, it is my favorite item, especially when you start combining it with screw attack, which we don't get to see much of in this tournament. I think I've only seen one person get it. Shout out to Toasty Muffins and his Craig Ridley Dragon Phantom. run?
Yeah, though I did see an all mini boss minus GT race at one point.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
So we didn't get to see the screw attack there, but yeah. Space jump is just, once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad, but it does occasionally just not make sense to you.
Well, the first time I picked it up, I know I spent a lot of time trying to just get out of the Dragon ring. By the time I got out of there, I actually felt like I knew how to use it. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, the weird thing is it changes.
Yeah,
once you, yeah.
Nice behemoth spark from Seffi. And Seffi has done with an official SRL time of 46:28. GG to Seffi.
Just a casual sub 46.5.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Meg's gonna go get her ice beam and then head right on down to Lower Norfair.
I think one of the more impressive things to me about Meg's running here is she's definitely using some more advanced strats than maybe someone like a lot of people in that PB range. So definitely just jumping in head first and doing a very good job of it. And I think that's why we'll see that PB fall pretty fast if she sticks with running this game.
Well, like I said, I hear she's pretty good at some of these other games, especially somebody even put in, mentioned this earlier today when this race was mentioned. She's pretty darn good at the Zelda 1 randomizer. I suspect she's in that tournament, which is going on right now. Looks like we're going to get Seffi in here for an interview. Seffi,
hey yo,
how you doing?
What's up, Tracy, Mookie?
How you doing
Chat.
today?
Very good, thank you. How's everyone?
Pretty good. So what'd you
Tired.
think of him? He's got his kids running him around all over the place. So what'd you think of the run, Seffi?
This was actually a really good run. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not gonna lie. This was a really, really good run. Like despite all the memeing that I was doing, playing safe with the Kraid tank. This was a satisfying one.
Okay, got a question for you. So,
What's up?
did you purposely try to leave bot wound early and go back in?
No, I didn't. No, it wasn't on purpose. That one was not on purpose.
So,
that one, I just saw that. I noticed again because I was listening to the audio, and I just noticed I escaped. I escaped too early, so I was like, I might as well just show it again.
And you were right.
Yeah. Oh well, it's because like if you listen and the boss music still hasn't died or like faded out,
Yeah.
It's gonna keep playing, or you're gonna respawn bot to him.
Right. Fortunately, it doesn't really affect this particular one. But it was.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's kind of neat to show it off, though.
It's just cool. Yeah, that's twice already this tournament that I showed it off. That's the issue.
I missed that other one. So you're 3-0, which pretty much guarantees you moving on. You got one more match with J-Ro, which is also going to be a 3-0 match. How do you feel about that?
That one's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one the most. That one, like much respect to J-Ro. We started around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
learning Super Metroid. We'll never forget the first randomizer we did together. But it was with Sickens and with Charles Black. It was really cool. But that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
Times are way different, and so yeah, it's hopefully obviously it's gonna be like one of the most anticipated matches.
You think you're gonna play it as safe as you do? You're gonna pick up that crazy tank in that? You're gonna be play it a little less safe in that one?
I honestly, like, out of like just respect for any so it's okay at that point. It's just really.
I lost you there for a second. You want to say that again?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it my best. I'm gonna do an actual like run against him, an actual race, and it'll be fun. It'll be cool. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that'll be a fun race to watch. But then you move on. So what do you think of Rockets coming up?
Gonna get the best of the best. It's gonna be awesome. Whew. I really hope I get to go against someone that I know really, really well. Either like Keku or Becky or Nutella. I'm already just predicting people that are making it, but like that's just how confident I am in someone. You know, I'm looking at Timon. I feel like Timon. I want to call out Timon. Sloters. I feel like if I race Sloters, we would both do old route, so that would be a really good.
That would be a fun race to watch too.
Or I could.
Two of the old route holdouts.
I could take out Poppy too. I'm just kidding. Did really, really good.
Yeah, I think she's probably. I believe she's 3-1. That'll put her through.
They're 3-1. Yeah.
Sorry, they're 3-1.
I don't know. Whoever's after in the brackets, I obviously just welcome that match.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So
Poppy,
yeah, really good luck to Meg.
You have a shot. Don't sell yourself so short. Yeah, and yeah, what do you think of Meg here?
I'm glad. I've been talking about it like the entire time. I was like, because I've been like deprived of just doing a race, and it's been 2 weeks, almost a little over 2 weeks that I've done a run or a race for the tournament, and so I was most excited for this one because it was against a newer runner, a runner that just decided to jump in for the tournament, you know. And much respect, like I commend Meg for jumping in, tackling this speed run, and honestly, she's done phenom. So big ups to her.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. As I was one of the ones that as a newer runner who chose not to enter this tournament. Although in part that was because I was doing a lot of traveling previous to the tournament starting. I certainly feel like I missed out a little bit on actually playing. So big props to Meg for doing that. Oh, and she gets Ridley with 8 energy left. Oh, I bet she'll pick up that extra E-tank here.
Yeah, really good job. I'm glad that she made it through.
Really was really a jerk there at the end. That was like terrible swoops.
Yeah, and she does pick up that E-tank. I think that's pretty smart there. It's a nice thing about that E-tank being there is that if you have that really bad Ridley fight but you survive, you always have that E-tank. So long as you're not doing a randomizer. You never know how much, you don't realize how much you miss that E-tank until you come out low with out of a randomizer and you go there and you find Spazer. So anything else you'd like to comment on, Sephi?
Finding Spazer there is much better than an E-tank in rando.
No, especially after that, I'm done. I'm out.
All right.
See, I'm just kidding. Thank you. No. Don't thank me. Thank you. Thank yourselves. Thank chat. Thank Meg. I had nothing to do with anything. I'm just myself. No. I don't want any attention. Give it all to Meg. I don't want anything. Unfollow me. Whoever's following me, unfollow me right now. I really don't care. All right. Anything else? No, probably that's it. So thank you for the commentary.
You're very
I
welcome.
love you all. You're the best.
We love you too.
See ya.
And Poppy, thank you for putting up the runners. I will disagree with Steffi. Go ahead and give him and give Meg a follow. Both wonderful. For Steffi, wonderful Super Metroid runner. Meg, a newer runner who only has better things to come in terms of Super Metroid, but like I said, does a lot of other things. As we get the unfollows, I'm sure that you don't really mean that comment.
I don't know. People on the internet are crazy. I don't know what they mean anymore.
Meg, in the meantime, doing a very nice lower north area.
Definitely an advantage in older out here where you can just kind of just tank through things. And if you can't tank through them due to health, you can just shoot them to death.
It is possible to shoot them. So you do have wave beam, so you can actually shoot them from below if you have the new route combination, which includes phaser instead of plasma beam. But it's a lot more shots. Yeah, and to the comment in chat about stuff, he is really nice. Like I said, we joke about him a lot, but you know, I have not. In the short time that I've been part of this community, you couldn't find a nicer person.
Yeah, I mean, and he puts up with me, so that's, I mean, that says something for his patience. Very nice business center there by Meg. I'm really impressed with her movement for being as short time playing as she has been.
Agreed.
I see a lot of movement where I think that her PB would be much lower than it actually is. And it's just going to be one of those, she just needs one of those runs to put it together,
Yeah.
and she'll have a monster PB.
Absolutely. And noting that she's almost skipped going through Meridia, that actually doesn't surprise me. When I first started watching speedruns, I had no idea that this was the shorter way to get back up. I think what most runners will do, or I shouldn't say runners, what most casual players would do is go up Red Tower and possibly even going up the climb again. Nobody wants to do that, though. Or coming back for reverse through Green Brinstar. Either way, that's going to certainly be longer.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, the first few runs I did to try to speed run, even though I had watched a lot of runs and everything, once you get in them, it's a lot different. I mean, I did some of the dumbest stuff. Like, I forgot high jump boots.
I once forgot charge beam, so there you go.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I know that's there. I know I need that, but I just decide, hey, you don't need that. Just go make a fool of yourself and not realize why you can't make a jump.
Let's see. she doesn't stop at the ship either. I like that. Ammo count looks pretty good. I believe that she's got 14 supers. Most of the time, you'd only have 10 anyway. So she picked that extra super pack up. Regular missiles at 13 is not a problem since you can refill them. Energy looks good, 4+ tanks. And at this point, you don't need any more power bombs.
Nope, unless you want to do really, unless you want to do really slow Metroids.
I mean, at this point, a better safety save would be to do the one at the bottom before the Mother Brain fight. Make practicing your space jumping in the G4 room. It's always interesting to see what runners do in this room. You see a lot of horizontal bomb jump practice. Some people just kind of dance around. Meg here practicing your space jump.
The funny thing is, you don't see many people just stand still.
No, you don't see that very often.
It's like you can tell we all have a little bit of ADD or something. It's like you got to stay in the moment, stay active.
Except for maybe Sloters, who tends to type stuff in chat during this segment.
Which kind of shocks me. I don't have a whole lot of runs and everything like that because I actually had to put up my Super Nintendo for a while, but it's nice to just put it down and kind of relax your hands.
Yeah. Taking the Metroid room nice and slow. Nothing wrong with that. No problem with Metroid room 2. Going into the third one. Not the best super drops, but since she picked up that extra super pack, she'll be just fine. Plus, she's got several extra missiles over what one would normally have, so she has plenty of ammo to do the rest of this.
Extra ammo is never a bad thing. So, fun fact, if you haven't been around, or if you are, I believe, if you're trying to charge, you higher clip than you do if you just stood there and took damage.
Yeah, so Meg not getting baby skip. Looks like she hasn't gotten that yet, so I think it's you just damage yourself down, get grabbed, move on. To answer the question in chat about the number of missiles you need for each Zeb, so each Zeb I believe has 1,000. No, that's not right. It's 4 supers. Yeah, that would be 1,000. So 1,000 HP. So 4 supers will do it. Or what happens when you use regular missiles, you'll end up using 11 because you can't shoot the missiles fast enough for not to respawn just a little bit. So she doesn't have enough ammo for that unless she wants to refill a couple times. So that means she should be able to do the Zeb skip. At least that's what I expect here. Not as easy as it looks as a trick. I've done it before, but I still have trouble with that one as well.
Yeah, it looks way easier than it is.
It does. And Meg taking that extra safety save.
first time I tried the Zeb skip, I didn't practice going into it at all. I just kind of showed up to it like, oh, I don't know how to do this.
Having a little bit of trouble. Sometimes it's just easier to reset the room rather than trying to do it again.
Second first try. Good job.
Plenty of ammo for this part of the fight. It's kind of a weird setup here. So the first 6, you break the glass. All you do is break the glass, so the damage output is now no different whether you use supers or regular missiles. And then it's 3,000 HP at that point. So either 30 missiles or 10 supers. And Meg has 8 supers left. Looks like she's going to use them to start off the final fight. I think that's pretty smart. Mostly I've heard that it's faster DPS if you use the charge beam combination. But it's pretty darn close. Whichever one turns out to be faster. So using up those supers, nothing wrong with that. Once she gets her ketchup beam, she'll know she only needs 4 more shots. As ketchup beams start right after this shot, after 3/4 damage in Mother Brain. Damaging yourself down, no problem.
Very good Endotorian there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's not going to get a PB out of this, but, you know, running a race, getting it, not dying anywhere, for a newer runner, knowing she's up against someone of the caliber of Sephi, it's still a great race.
And really, it was just a couple of, those major hiccups that we talked about that are like, the first mock ball and Alcatraz and just a climb, like all the major, new runner bottlenecks. There's a few mistakes there, or, just inability to execute, and that's to be expected. Otherwise, I mean, right there, get those first, second try, some of them, and we're talking about probably a decent PB.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of those early strats are much harder than some of the later strats.
Definitely one of the funniest part about this run is that it does not, progressively get harder in a lot of ways. It stays at least as difficult throughout the whole thing.
And on to Mother Brain 3. And she just stands in the corner. It's a little bit slower, but super easy, super consistent. Now all that's left is the escape. So to answer the question in chat, I actually don't know the exact amount of time Light Ice saves. It kind of depends if you can manage to get that mock ball out of there, which it just depends. You can get that mock ball out of there if you choose to do the northern route to get down to Lower Norfair. It's probably pretty darn close to not saving too much. I'd buy the 12 seconds. And then the X factors if you choose not to, if you're using X factors in the menu involved, that would be a bit of a time loss as well.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sets you up doing it late to go the southern route where you can get the Nutella refill and stuff like that. But
Yeah. And I
it's
didn't
kind
see
of a
what.
personal preference thing.
Yeah, I didn't see what just killed Sephi in his practice run on the other side.
Great.
Oh, really?
I think he missed a quick kill and just let it
See,
run.
I'm telling you that quick kill for the experienced runner that doesn't have to fight Kraid normally is often.
Oh, I don't think he even.
No, he's probably resetting for a PB. You know, when you're going for a PB, and that happens, just instead of resetting, he just lets himself die. Certainly, that can happen.
There is nothing more, you know, for this community, like we've talked about. Everyone's generally pretty. Oh no, this is a bad choice.
Oh, she doesn't have a PB. She's not losing a PB out of it. She's not losing. I like this. But then again, I'm one of those people. I've stated on the record that I would only not save the animals if it was going to cost me a race. So, or in the randomizers where all sorts of funny things can be hiding there.
Yeah, but kind of go back to what I was talking about, where like Sephi dying at Kraid. You know, it's. I think everyone has a good sense of humor about when they die to something ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. My favorite is dying on speed escape because I can't arm pump properly.
Yeah.
And with that, Meg is done with an official SRL time of 1:11:27. GG. Let's see. Looks like we have time. The next thing coming up on this channel is a Zelda 1 randomizer at 9:30. So I am gonna see if she wants to join us for a chat. Let's check it out. Oh, I gotta.
As you guys can see, Tracy just carries me. I'm just here to, you know, not mess things up.
That's so not true, and I have yet to do one of these by myself. Props to people that do that. I much prefer having someone with me. So, in the meantime,
when I do that, it's bad.
Looks like Meg's not going to come in for an interview, but just a reminder: follow these runners. I will get up these upcoming schedules. So here we go. All the runners, both worth your time. And let's see what's coming up in the tournament here. So it looks like that's all for today. Tomorrow we have at 5 o'clock Blue Plasma Spark versus Oats and Goats. At 8 o'clock we have Jackson D77 versus Elminster RTA. And at 10 o'clock we have Mr. J Giggles versus Scotty McBody, which is I believe a battle of 3-0. So that promises to be a very good race, and I believe that was one of the tighter ranges of PBs when they set up the groups. Also, a reminder that the schedule is those matches are scheduled, but there are a ton of matches yet to be scheduled. So keep an eye out on the listings on the Speed Gaming schedule and on the tournament. Because you never know when something might be scheduled at the last minute. So there's going to be a lot of Super Metroid coming up. Also, shout outs to the Metroid marathon that's coming up this weekend, which will include several categories of Super Metroid, also several categories of all Metroid races, all Metroid games. But in particular, we have some of the more unusual categories that we don't normally see. We're going to see a blindfolded run by Pong, commentated by yours truly and Plasma Spark. We're going to see a 135% run by Canadian Owl using the GT code and picking up all the items. And we're going to see a 100% map. I believe that one's being done by Wild Anaconda 69. So all sorts of really great things coming up this weekend. And I hope you'll all join us for that.
When's the Federation Force runs? I need to block off my weekend.
Yeah, I don't think that one. I did not see that one on the list. I'd be lying if I actually said that I was sad about that. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you to Ditmook for joining me in commentary. Thank you to the runners, Antinomy or Sephi, and megmacAttack. Thank you to chat. Always fun. Thank you for watching. All of you that are watching here, thank you to Speed Gaming for putting this tournament on, and to the organizers for making this such a great tournament. This has been a really great time. I've enjoyed commentating this tournament so much, and I'm so happy that all of you are tuning in to watch. Anything else you got, Mookie?
Nope. I'm going to bed. You all have a wonderful day, evening, night, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are.
Yeah, that's my line. Yeah, so afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be. See you next one.
Bye.